So,
do you have any employees?
Yeah, so we have a team of 10.
10?
For Beyond Braid.
And how many are you in the U.S.?
2 U.S. full-time is a salesperson and a social media person. Then we have a 3PL for a shipping team. We have an email marketing guy. We have an ad agency.
And those two are overseas, or the ad agency is an agency?
No, agency is domestic. We have a PPC manager. We have customer service, which is outsourced, like an agency that does our customer service. What am I missing?
Why do you have an agency doing customer service?
So it's like a VA agency. So essentially, they have very I tried.
You tried onlinejobs.ph?
I did not.
Okay.
I forget where I sourced my original VAs from, and it just got to the point where it was too much of a headache. Mm-hmm. And these people came in at, I think, like $300 more than what I was paying my person.
Yeah.
They have all the SOPs and train them completely, and I communicate directly with the VA who works on our account,
mm-hmm.
and he feels like an extension with like an extra layer of management that I don't have to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
And for that extra $300, I'm like, that works for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I know customer service is important because I know you guys do your own customer service.
The way that I look at it is that the more stuff that you're outsourcing, the less scalability you have.
Correct. Which is why I want to start doing more in-house with more people. Because like that's how you build the core team. Yeah,
because the truth is, like, let's say your customer service team. It's not just customer service, because customer service gets a lot of insights, right?
Yeah.
They find out where your products are failing,
mm-hmm.
or they have maybe insights about the product, or what, there's other things also we do, like ask the customers, what's the next product you want to see?
Yeah.
There's other things inside that whole area is like a department that, with the right people who are fully on the same team as
mm-hmm.
you, can be more valuable than just like, if you outsource PPC, you outsource it, like if you outsource it, what do you have left?
I agree.
Have you by yourself.
I agree. Which is like, in order to go to the next step, I know I have to start creating my own team and stop outsourcing. Okay. Like for the pickleball brand, for the first 4 or 5 months, just to touch on what you said, or like the first 4 months, I did all the customer service myself because I wanted to see what the customers were saying.
Yes.
Since it was such a new product, I didn't know what was good about it, what was bad about it. And I quickly got feedback and kind of adjusted. And quickly realized, and it helped me create my listings better of common questions we were getting.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So just to answer them in the infographics. So that was something very helpful for me. And then it got to the point where I was getting the same questions, and then I was like, all right, I can outsource this. So I 100% agree with you that I need to do more stuff in-house. It's just, to me, I'm at the point where it's kind of scary to go out and hire, let's say, 3 people at a time and really manage them effectively, because I think I'd probably have to do them remote because I don't have like a central office like you have here. So that makes me a little nervous, is the remote portion. But again, I think just going back to everything I've learned in business so far is you just have to try and see what happens.
Or also, I mean, you could also like get a little office somewhere. Like
I have an office now. It's like a 1-person office, but I'm moving from Miami to Fort Lauderdale, so that's a different scene.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think that's probably in the works of like a little 4-person office. And
something like that. And that's what we did. We just had a little office. It was like $700 a month or something. It was like the rent. I forgot what it was exactly, but it's like
my rent's $1,350 for like half the size of the studio where I pay now. Yeah. Real estate's different.
That's in Miami?
In Miami, yeah.
So Fort Lauderdale might be a little bit cheaper, maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
But realistically,
I know.
Here's the way that. Here's the first person you should hire if you want my advice.
Please.
You need a person who's going to be, let's say, like your right hand man or woman, right?
Like a COO.
Yes.
Type.
Because the thing is, if you don't ever get a person who you, let's say, can trust, you're going to end up doing everything anyway. Just have assistants.
Which is what I'm in the position now.
That's right.
Yeah.
So if there's nobody who's, let's say, of a similar caliber of like, who you trust to make decisions. Mm-hmm. If everybody you have is supposed to just follow your exact orders, right? And nobody has decision-making power, you've basically, that could be done by robots, let's say.
Yeah.
Right? The positions that you need the most is the COO, right? And maybe that person will change down the line. Maybe, what do you guys know? You'd like 3 million, 4 million? 5 million?
Between both brands, just under 5 million.
Okay, so like 5 million. Who would you trust to make decisions? I would prefer to have one person and replace 3 others who can do a lot of the functions, right? Like you probably would have another one of yourself than maybe your entire team, right? Because you're going to make some decisions and then you hire and do that thing. So what I would do is look for one person, it could be someone you don't know and you're going to invest in. Maybe someone you know from another person who used to be at Cardone. Or someone you know from, I don't know, church, or someone you know from high school, or like I don't know if you're like in a band, like I don't know, somebody that you've seen do a good work, and ideally, an amazing way to hire, something that I've noticed, which is kind of unfortunate. The person who is not looking for a job is your best candidate. Right?
So you got to poach them?
Yes. You have to poach them.
Yeah.
You have a buddy. You have a buddy who's doing sales for this company.
Yeah.
They're crushing it, and they're like, I love my job. Be like, yo, do you want to come and like have this bigger vision and sell them on that? Because what do you know about someone who's like, yo, I need a job, I'm looking for a job? They didn't make it at the last place that well.
Yeah.
Right? They're on the way out in some way. So the very best person is going to be someone who's crushing it. Anybody, like go through your phone book. Who do you think is doing a great job at their day job right now? Be like, go through those people and say...
I have a couple of people in mind, actually.
Boom.
Now that you said that.
You do that and you go, yo, you're making 80K right now.
Yeah.
You're making 90K, you're making 100, you're making 50, whatever you're making. Either you can pay them that or you can't. It's okay if you could have to pay them a little bit less, but say, here's a deal. Here's a structure. We're at 5 million now. You're going to take over this stuff. You'll start at 10K less, start at 5K less. Whatever it is, 20K less, but... on this upside, when we get to here, you'll be at this much, you'll be at this much, you'll be at this much. Hey, you can have a profit share on their increase of profit from this year to this year. Do some structures, but get people excited. Because if someone's excited about, I don't know, being like a bank branch manager, let's say, and they're like, yeah, we just, I don't know.
It's tough.
Whatever. It's tough.
Yeah.
But they've been going at it and they're doing well and they're happy about it.
Yeah.
Dude, leading an e-commerce brand will be so exciting. Yeah. So for me, I think for hiring, that is the top tip. Find someone who's excelling. Get that person, because if they're excelling, they're probably can excel with you. And someone you want to be around and someone you can give some trust to. And
what if I don't know anyone like that? Where else would I look?
Go
put
an
an ad
out there. Go to the 10X conference, bro.
Yeah.
Go to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
An ad is tough because by definition, a person who's responding to an ad is job hunting.
Yeah. Which means they've probably left before, or they didn't do such a good job, or they got fired.
Yes.
So,
or it could also be they're burned out or something, or want to move, or, like, for example, now we just hired somebody who the business that we're in went through some, like, a lawsuit or whatever, or something happened, and, like, the guy's downsizing, but for real. Like, half the staff are fired or something. And actually, his division, because that person has, let's say, 5 companies, his division was actually doing well and growing, but now there's no money to keep expanding, and they had to leave. So now the guy's job hunting. He responded to an ad, but the scenario wasn't like, yo, I want another job because there's nothing to do here. It's like the company is disappearing.
Yeah.
Now, that may not, can one employee be responsible for the whole company going down? I hope not. But, like, of course, it's not always a good sign either that the company's going down because, like, whatever. Yeah. But the point is how to find them. Dude, check on LinkedIn. I don't know.
You just got to
look around.
And I've tried, and then I keep getting, what happens is I'll say, hey, look, I'm finally going to do this.
Yeah.
And then I get sucked back into the business. And then it gets put on the back burner and then doesn't get done. And I've been trapped kind of in that cycle. And I just know in order to go to the next level, I need, that needs to be like a focus, like a primary focus to get that 1 to 3 people, whether it's 1 or 3 people, to just do what I'm doing now. Because I know I already have way too much on my plate. And in order to grow, I need to focus on what I'm good at and just find this key person. Like Gabe, my buddy Gabe Bowling, right? He's doing really well in his own business. And he asks me for certain advice on this same exact situation. Yeah. And I'll tell him exactly how to do it. And I'm like, fuck, why can't I take my own advice that I'm giving him? I'm like, yeah, he needs a sales director. Just hire this person, train him on this, bring in this person. And it all sounds so good. And he's like, I'm going to do it. And I just think, I'm like, why can't I just do that for myself? It sounds so good and easy when I say it, but always easier said than done. So
yeah. And this is a recruiting tip that I kind of held on to, a person who has a recruiting firm. And she was telling me, listen, go for someone you really want to hire. And they might tell you, look, I'm going to go for $12,000 a month or something, $15,000 a month. Well, in this case, like people were hiring might be like, hey, I want $25,000 a month or something. I was like, damn. Here's what she said. She said, listen, pay them the thing, bring them on. You'll know really quickly if they're worth it or not.
True.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it's easy to bring someone on and be like, hey, these are the jobs, and a month. Some people, maybe you could know in a week or 2 weeks or something, or a day, right? Yeah. Depending if it's really a bad fit. Yeah. But like a month, 2 months, after 3 months, you'll know if that one's worth it. So the total cost, don't look at it as
the full salary,
$12,000 a month, $50,000 a month for 10 years. No, because if it doesn't work out, you say, hey, it's not a good fit.
On to the next
Yeah,
one.
go to the next one.
Yeah.
You know, put on some Ariana Grande.
Yeah.
You know?
No, and I think I've done that a lot too, whereas I look at I was trying to hire a videographer, like a really upscale videographer, and he wanted like 120 grand a year. And I was looking at 120 grand a year instead of, hey, let's try this for a month or two. It'll cost me 10 grand.
Yep.
I'll know right then and there if it's actually making an impact or not.
Correct.
So that helps a lot.
The way that I do is I look at like, okay, if they're relocating or something, or like if their life is going to be like, you're going to feel like a douche because they got fired in 2 months. Relocation, okay, then, you know, maybe not. But you could also tell them, hey, this is a trial. We're going to try this on and see how you do. If you perform, we'll keep you on. And you'll know quickly. So that's the thing. You're not going to lose. It's the most for that is a 20 grand. And 20 grand, you're in a position, your business, where you could risk 20 grand for something that could be massive.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if videographer is the best thing unless it's your personal brand.
Yeah.
Like, no, I probably wouldn't hire that as anywhere.
That person was the vision for that person was to help with everything I had going on.
Okay.
And I would never pay 120 grand for a videographer in the stage I'm in.
Yeah.
It was just, this guy was really good. And he said, hey, look, I can go work for this company. They're offering me 120 grand or whatever. Yeah. So if it's not that, no. So I was just like, all right, we can't do that. Yeah. So
unless it's a person that like, they could be the COO and they happen to do video. Yeah. That's the thing too. People can change. Like, I knew nothing about Amazon e-commerce, nothing when I started. Yeah. Right. A lot of the people that work in our team that are now some of the most accomplished Amazon management they knew nothing. So the truth is, you get a guy who's, let's say, an accomplished videographer. Okay, I'll bring you on for this, but you're gonna be the COO and you're gonna do all this stuff.
And I start training them on the process.
Dude. Yeah. How much did you knew nothing?
True.
5 years ago, you knew absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
So what this requirement of like, they have to have like an MBA. Like, no, dude, like
not at all.
I have no credentials.
Yeah.
So hire somebody just who is like you. Like, imagine you.
Yeah.
What job opportunity would you have liked? Let's say before you started your brand, like, hey, look, you're going to start this. You might be a little bit lower, but here's what we're going to grow to. You're going to learn e-commerce. So if whoever you hire, the way that I look at it, they're going to have a massive opportunity. Because if anybody comes and works at Zulai Kitchen, at Nexus Capital, anything like that, they're going to learn these skills where if one day, 2, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, whatever, down the line, they go, I'm going to start a brand, they could become millionaires relatively easily.
Yeah. That's why I wanted skill. And that's why I wanted to work for Grant, right? Because I saw the opportunity to learn. And I guess this is kind of just like maybe an insecurity I have. It's like, why would someone want to come work for me? Do I really have so much to offer them?
You do.
So
that's the thing. You have the first step is sell yourself.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I have a few people that have started and they, like, one guy, we offered him literally like 30% less, almost like 20. I think he was going to make $25 an hour. We said, like, dude, we can give you 20. And the guy's now making like well into the six figures, like well into the six figures. And it was nothing ago. But that could happen to you with any person who works at your company.
Yeah.
Do you know how many like Amazon PPC manager this, and they charge these, $5,000 retainers for, whatever. Person run ads with you for a year, in theory, they can go get a client for like $5,000. Of course. Like, maybe you won't want that right away because then maybe they go off into the agency. But the truth is, probably only like 5% of your staff will even want to go and do their own business. Even if they have the skills, it's a risk level that not everybody wants.
Very true.
Not everybody wants the car. Not everybody wants the mansion. Not everybody wants like to go do the donations. Not everybody wants to become a millionaire.
It's hard, and running a business is not easy.
No.
I think
they don't want the stress, dude. They don't want to work 100-hour weeks for 2 years.
It's hard.
So you have all the skills, you work 100-hour weeks, you will guarantee to be a millionaire. They'll say, no thanks. I would rather work 40 hours a week, do well in your company, and make enough to live and supply for my kids and family. But then they have still that skill set that then maybe 10 years down the line, whatever point, they could be some COO for some $50 million Amazon brand and get a bunch of money.
Yeah.
So you have a lot to offer. Sell yourself on that.
Yeah.
Because listen, let's say me, right, in, 2014, 2015, 2016 even when I had my little side business on Amazon, I'm working as a programmer and I'm like, oh, I would have loved to work. If my day job was also Amazon, that'd be like ideal. Yeah. So really anybody would have a fantastic opportunity working in your company. And if you pitch it to them like that and all the stuff you know from sales, you should be like, listen, you're earning blah now. You're going to take this, but here's the upside. You're going to learn e-commerce. You're going to learn ads. This is the future. Look at the trend of the world. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's another skill that I just know is necessary to develop, which is just, I'm very good at the marketing side. I'm very good at the sales side. Now it's like, a whole new piece of business that I need to learn, which is people. And you essentially have to take marketing and sales into people to say, hey, look, this is a good place to work. And trust me, I've been studying this hard because I know it's like what I need to do. I think I'm just at the point where I just need to start trying and implementing and seeing what happens. Because it's like, I'm not afraid to say like, look, I don't know what I'm doing, or I'm nervous doing this, or I don't know what I'm doing. But I mean, I think that's anyone who goes into a new field, like if they want to start Amazon FBA, they want to start e-commerce, you're not going to know what you're doing in the beginning.
That's true.
So I think I just need to take the step forward and say, fuck it, and just do it already.
Yeah. And another point, how many staff you have total? You said you have 10 people.
It's a team of 10, full-time 2. But
Full-time.
It's like between contractors and employees, 10.
So you also might be, believe it or not, like overstaffed. I mean, for us, we have about 1 employee for every million in sales, which at one point we're 1 employee for every $500,000, and it goes back and forth. So I don't know that you're like, you should hire like 3 people. Maybe you need to fire 3 people and hire 1 person.
Well, I mean, that I think that is eventually another goal, is to, if I'm hiring someone full-time, like knock off some of these agencies.
Yes.
So, because I know.
Well, there you go. How much are you paying in agencies total?
$7,000 a month, $8,000 a month.
So
nothing crazy.
Okay. But $8,000 a month, you probably get a pretty decent person for $8,000 a month.
Yeah.
You know, and then plus upside bonus, this like, you don't have any bonus with any of your team or anything, no?
Nope.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, it also makes sense. Like, imagine, I mean, I guess you can't have commissions always on the real estate closings, but in general, salespeople want to have a commission.
Yeah.
Because then they could be in charge of their own income.
Mm-hmm.
If we just go, I'm going to pay you this, no matter how well you do or poorly you do, you get paid the same. Kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Like,
it does.
I worked as a programmer. I had a flat thing, and I'm like, this project, this is blowing up. And I would be like, hey, this is how we can be profitable. And this, literally, the chief technical officer, right? The guy, CTO, he says, don't worry about the profitability. This is like a venture capital thing. Like, don't worry about profits. We're not trying to make profit. Like, you stay in your own lane, like do your own thing. And now our company's worth double what that company sold for and when it like disbanded. But when you're a I would say high performer, I don't know, I'm gonna call myself a high performer, but like
I would say so.
When you're in that level, you want to have incentives.
Yeah.
I want to be like, hey, let me make this project make a bunch of money and give me a cut, right? Because if you believe in yourself, you believe you can help, that would be a way to pitch it. If I just go, here's your salary, of course, it's fine. But I don't know, man. In this world, I think that it's helpful to have like
push upside,
some incentives.
Yeah,
maybe.
I agree.
Yeah,
that's literally my goal for this year, is to build that portion of the business. Because I think there's different seasons of businesses of what you focus on. Like you could either focus on product or focus on this, especially when I'm small. But as I start bringing in people, I can always focus on this or always focus on that to focus on the growth.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm pushing for.
Nice, dude. Nice.